Good morning to this year's State of the Campus Address. All right. Great turnout. Well, good morning and welcome to all of you. My name is Jurg Dufresne, Executive Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, and again, we'd like to welcome all of you to this year's State of the Campus Address. Chancellor Wallace will give his State of the Campus in a few minutes, but first we have an opportunity to recognize and acknowledge the work and accomplishments of some of our faculty and staff, and we always look forward to celebrating the successes of our colleagues. I do want to say, however, that many times in an organization, the work and accomplishments of the award recipients oftentimes reflect the work and accomplishments of the entire organization. So on behalf of my colleagues here, and I think I can speak for the Chancellor and the Vice Chancellors, that we say thank you to all of you and we appreciate all the work that you do. All of you contribute to the academic mission of the institution, and all of you make it possible for this university to continue moving forward and serving the mission of the institution. And simply speaking, that is to make a positive difference in the lives of our students, their families, and also our community. So I thank all of you for your work last year, and we very much appreciate your work, and we will look forward to another successful year. So we will be giving lots of rounds of applause this morning to the award recipients and our Chancellor, but at this time, I would like all of you to give a round of applause for yourself and everything that you do. So thank you. So at this time, we'd like to call on Ms. Darlene Young, Director of Staff Equity and Diversity, and our Title IX Deputy to join me as we recognize the 2017 Diversity winner. Darlene.
Thank you, Dr. Dufresne. Good morning, everyone. Oh, IU Southeast, you can do better than that. Good morning. Thank you so much. Well, it's my distinct pleasure and honor to introduce the 2017 Chancellor's Diversity Award winner, School of Arts and Letters, Professor Michael Jackman. Professor Jackman's diversity programming efforts have not only raised awareness of difference, but also equipped members of our campus community with the skills needed to change their attitudes and their beliefs toward diversity, equality, and inclusion. Diversity is about taking into account differences between people and groups of people, and placing a positive value on those very aspects. Understanding equality and practicing inclusion increases the chances that our human race has the opportunity to enjoy the unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Thank you, Dr. Jackman.
Thank you so much, Darlene, and congratulations, Michael. Next, we would like to recognize our FACET award winners from this past year. FACET is an IU presidential initiative to promote and sustain teaching excellence. Each year, approximately 20 to 25 candidates from across the IU campuses and representing a wide range of academic disciplines are selected as members into FACET. Once selected into FACET, members are expected to contribute their experience and skills to FACET activities and programs advancing IU's faculty teaching mission. So the FACET award winners were recognized this past summer at the induction ceremony in Bloomington, actually not Bloomington, Brown County. And at this time, we would like our FACET inductees to please stand as I call their names. We'd like to recognize Dr. Sao Ho Chang of the School of Education. Sao Ho. Here. Dr. Pam Connolly from the School of Natural Sciences. She could not be with us this morning, but how about a nice round of applause for Pam? There's actually a science symposium at IUPUI today, so we have our scientists up in Indianapolis from the School of Natural Sciences. And finally, Professor Michael Jackman in the School of Arts and Letters. Good job, Michael. So the next award this is a new award for this year. The ILTE Faculty Innovation Award for Teaching and Learning was created to recognize what faculty at IU Southeast are doing to engage students and support their learning through teaching innovations. Innovation may or may not include technology. Innovation should always lead to greater student learning. Rather than accepting dossiers or portfolios, ILTE works with Stephen Krolak, our Academic Information Officer, to develop a news article that highlights one faculty innovator in teaching and learning each month of the academic year from September through April. By publicizing the work of our innovative colleagues, we hope to build a community in which innovation is discussed, valued, and shared among colleagues in the community. At the end of each academic year, one of the highlighted faculty innovators will be recognized with the ILTE Faculty Innovation Award for Teaching and Learning. The winner is selected by the ILTE Board of Advisors based on the article written by Stephen that highlights their innovations. And this year, we would like to recognize the first recipient of the ILTE Faculty Innovator Award, and that's Dr. Bernadette Jesse of the School of Social Sciences. Bernie? No. I didn't read the memo, I guess, you see. So next, I would like to call up Dr. Eric Stem, the 2017 Senior Distinguished Research and Creativity Award recipient from the School of Arts and Letters. Good job, Eric. Dr. Stem's compositions have received national and international recognition. It is rare for modern composers to be performed by professional orchestras. However, professional orchestras such as the Richmond Symphony and the Minnesota Orchestras have performed Dr. Stem's compositions. His work is regularly performed in Europe and recorded by national and international musical groups. One of his colleagues reports, quote, "His work is in high demand, something on which not all composers may boast, and the number of awards, commissions, and accolades attest to the quality of his work." Dr. Stem is the founder of the New Dynamic Records, which has released and sold professional albums nationally and internationally. Dr. Stem actively involves students in this work. IU Southeast students are involved in all aspects of New Dynamics Records. This includes music business students, fine arts majors, and students performing the sound engineering, each gaining and developing new skills through this experience. A colleague states, "Eric is an incredibly valuable asset to Indiana University Southeast as a creative artist and director of New Dynamic Records." So Eric, congratulations. And at this time, the next award is the Junior Distinguished Research and Creativity Award, and I would like to call up Dr. Jacob Babb in the School of Arts and Letters. Jacob. Dr. Babb is developing a national reputation and has an active research program investigating writing program administration. He's had 3 article publications and multiple presentations at regional and national conferences since joining IU Southeast. His work ranges from an investigation of the history of rhetoric and composition in the U.S. to analysis of the field as it currently stands to transitions occurring within the field. He has numerous book chapters in progress. He is currently editing a book, a collection of essays, WPA's In Transition, which will be published by the Utah State University Press. Dr. Babb's work is transforming the area of writing program administration. As one of his colleagues notes, I count him now. Actually, the colleague did not say, I said, it's a quote. I count him now among the most thoughtful and energetic intellectuals currently reshaping the field of rhetoric and composition. Jacob, congratulations. And our next award recipient is the 2017 Full-Time Distinguished Teaching Award, and I would like to call up Dr. Susan Ridout of the School of Education. Professor Ridout joined the School of Education at IU Southeast in 1983. Fresh from her doctoral studies at IU, A recipient of numerous teaching-related grants and the author or co-author of over 50 published articles, chapters, and conference proceedings, Dr. Ridout is the sponsor of the Student Education Association and a member of the National Education Association and the International Literacy Association, among numerous other organizations. She has exhibited leadership and commitment in all of these endeavors and has inspired leadership and commitment in her students. In addition, Professor Ridout has been an exceptional teacher and colleague at IU Southeast. She is a member of the FACET, an organization, well, actually, a member of the Faculty Academy on Excellence in Teaching, better known as FACET, and has received numerous teaching awards, including the Trustees Teaching Award, which she received in 2003 and 2013. She's taught over 25 different courses, some numerous times during her tenure at IU Southeast. Beyond the list of courses she has taught and the rewards she has won, it is striking to see how Dr. Ridout has influenced both her students and her colleagues. Her nominating colleague wrote that Dr. Ridout exhibits the focus, rigor, thoughtfulness, and graciousness that one would imagine in an ideal teacher, noting that Dr. Ridout has influenced 2 generations of reading teachers. It is therefore with great pride and pleasure that I announce to you Dr. Susan Ridout, the 2017 recipient of the Distinguished Teaching Award. Susan. And our last award is, I like to call it Professor Aaron Morris of the School of Business for the Part-Time Distinguished Teaching Award. Aaron, okay, great. Congratulations. Aaron Lane Morris has been an adjunct instructor in the School of Business's Department of Economics and Statistics since August of 2013 and has taught courses at the 100, 200, and 400 levels. Students and colleagues alike attest to the fact that Mr. Morris is making a positive difference. One colleague writes that Mr. Morris is hardworking, conscientious, always focused on students, and devoted to continuous improvement. His teaching style is enthusiastic. Students are quite fond of him, despite the difficulty of the material and rigorous grades. For his part, a recent alumnus writes, "Through Mr. Morris's course, I learned that I enjoy statistics and searched for a position that would entail the use of statistics and analysis." Now, who would say that they enjoy statistics, right? But Aaron counseled me on the process of interviewing as well as applying. He even wrote me a letter of recommendation. Mr. Morris is an esteemed colleague and respected teacher, and it is with great pleasure that I present him the 2016, actually 2017, Part-Time Distinguished Teaching Award. Congratulations. Thank you so much. And again, how about a nice round of applause for all of the award recipients again? And at this time, I would like to introduce my colleague, Vice Chancellor Dana Wabo, to the stage to introduce the Distinguished Service Award winners. Dana, thank you.
Can we give Yurick a round of applause? Always fun, always entertaining. But thank you, Yurick, and good morning, everyone. Our 2017 Distinguished Service Award for Service Maintenance Staff goes to Betty Ricketts from Facility Operations. Betty always does an outstanding job with her duties. She goes above and beyond to make sure that her areas are clean and organized, and always to make sure that staff and students have a clean environment at IU Southeast. Betty always has an upbeat, helpful attitude. She never says no and can be counted on to brighten the day of those she deals with. Betty Ann is a shining example of what an employee at IU Southeast should be: kind, courteous, hardworking, dedicated, and helpful. Another nomination form said that Betty works hard and always stays positive. She takes on extra tasks and tries hard to be helpful. Betty is always friendly and has a smile on her face. She is positive and has a great sense of humor. Betty keeps the buildings in great shape. The buildings they always look fabulous. Sometimes it's hard for people on second shift to be recognized for awards because they aren't as visible as the first shift employees. Betty is deserving of this award for the great work that she does. Congratulations, Betty. Our 2017 Distinguished Service Award for Clerical Staff goes to Kim Shaughnessy in the School of Business. Come on up, Kim. The following comments were pulled from nomination forms that were submitted on Kim's behalf. Kim is an asset to the School of Business. She's a frontline person who answers phone calls regarding the graduate program. Students in our classes know Kim by name and comment on how much she helps them. Kim goes above and beyond to help students get into different classes. She's always responsive and gives great advice, even though it's not technically her job role. Kim is super friendly and easy to talk to. It is very valuable for the graduate business program to have someone like her to greet the students. Kim is always friendly, cheerful, and kind. She doesn't rush people, but listens to the problems and handles it the right way. She is really great at easing your mind when you're stressed out. Anybody ever feel like that? Our primary mission is to take care of the students, and Kim does just that. She's approachable and very helpful. She cares deeply about our students and the campus mission. Congratulations, Kim. Congratulations. Well deserved. Yeah. And this morning, our Distinguished Service Award for Professional Technical Staff goes to Michael Turley in Ewitts. Michael, come on up. I know you're here. There he is. Michael is a quiet guy. You wouldn't know that from all the applause here. Whose helpful nature puts customers at ease. As a former police officer, he has great skills for figuring things out. Michael started as a student worker in IT and worked his way through a number of positions. In every role, he has been an excellent worker and colleague. He has always worked diligently in support of the U-Card program with Melissa Hill and with Julie Ingram in Dining Services in support of their cash register system. Michael routinely works weekends or early mornings outside of business hours. He has also made trips off campus to U-Card vendors to resolve technical problems for them. He treats all of this like it's just part of the job when it's actually above and beyond performance. Most recently, Michael invested months of work and technical expertise to prepare for the Crimson Card transition. He attended hundreds of meetings and shared notes with everyone involved. At every step of the way, he displayed a mindfulness of the real people who would be affected and worked to minimize the impact of the change. Michael treats his customers' priorities as his own. The Crimson Card transition and his previous work with the U-Card have truly been signature achievements for Michael. Michael supports the mission and goals of IU Southeast. His projects touch enrollment, student services, and everyday campus life. He loves the campus and is always conscientious of providing the best customer service. Michael is deeply deserving of this distinguished service recognition. We couldn't agree more. Congratulations, Michael. If you paid attention in each one of those nomination narratives, there were 3 words that describe our Distinguished Service Award recipients. Anyone want to try to shout it out? Above and beyond. Excellent. You all deserve a round of applause this morning. This does conclude the recognition portion of the program. Once again, congratulations to all of the award recipients. One more round of applause if we could. And I would like to remind all of the award recipients that we will be taking photographs up here at the end of the program, so please make your way up after the Chancellor delivers his address. At this point in time, I would like to invite our Chancellor, Dr. Ray Wallace, to the podium to deliver the State of the Campus Address.
Good morning, everyone. It's good to see you all here. First of all, let's have another round of, well, before we have another round of applause, let's have all the award recipients stand, please. Now let's have a round of applause. I like my group of people over there by the door, but I did go over and tell them that that was not an exit, so they can't sneak out of here early. And we will have our police force outside with tasers, so if Marty Rosen makes a run for that door, he will be tased. Okay, so there you are. Yes? Oh, we will not be tasing you. Oh, no, we've got an officer back there, and she has a list of people that she would love to tase, so there you are. Well, good morning. Entering my 4th year as Chancellor of IU Southeast, I am flattered again to give this year's State of the Campus address. This year it is a story of recognizing where we are and correcting ourselves to get where we need to go. It is a story of realizing our vulnerabilities, but also realizing our collective power to right the ship and steam forward. Regional universities across the country are seeing a decline in enrollment, and certainly IU Southeast is not immune to this fall off. Indeed, many of the faculty and staff here today who have been with us for over a decade can certainly attest to our gradual but continual enrollment contraction. Today, as we convene, we have approximately 5,200 students on campus, and yet 10 years ago, we were about 7,200. We are, in fact, no different from most regional campuses across the country in that we all fluctuate with the economic currents and tides. The old maxim that when the economy is poor, then more people go to college certainly holds true. And correspondingly, the opposing axiom is also equally accurate, that when the economy gets stronger, more people opt for employment over college. This is certainly the case here at IU Southeast. In our southern Indiana, greater Louisville area, a stronger economy with more employment opportunities has arisen after what can only be called a pretty horrendous recession. Now, with this economically depressed interlude concluded, the number of enrolled students has diminished. In addition, our feeder institutions, most notably our 2 community college systems in Louisville and in southern Indiana, have not produced the number of graduates we would like to normally see to transfer here to us. Hence, we see an ongoing decline in the number of transfer students coming to us. Further, the number of working adults who once regarded IU Southeast as the place they could come to finally complete their degrees in the evenings and on the weekends, that has also declined. Finally, we are not witnessing the graduate student enrollments we should be witnessing given our urban location. These declines have not just begun recently, and if anything, we had hoped that we would have bottomed out by now. During this time of ongoing declines, we've added new programs and continued to hire faculty and staff to help work our way out of this problem. More importantly, we have continued to dip into our fiscal reserves to cover our missed enrollment targets. Please note that there's nothing wrong economically amiss with this in terms of budget planning. Many institutions dip into their reserves during times like these. In fact, that is precisely what reserves are for. However, during our last university-wide review, the Board of Trustees Finance and Audit Committee did note that the 3 largest regional campuses were experiencing a degree of budgetary stress which needed to be examined and then dealt with relatively quickly. We agreed with this conclusion and decided to realign ourselves by planning accordingly for a new enrollment normal. Accordingly, at our last major administrative retreat, we approved that we would no longer dip into our reserves, but would instead plan for a budget reduction which would align ourselves with our anticipated headcount. Forthrightly, we recognized that changes needed to be made, that we were spending more than we were bringing in, and that we were operating as if we were a larger institution than we actually were. I announced in June that credit hour production for the 2017-2018 year was actually going to be lower than the credit hour production achieved in the 2006 fiscal year. And I furthered that given several years of decreases in credit hour production, combined with increases in new faculty and staff positions, our FY18 general fund budget now showed a $1.3 million deficit. I noted that our campus could no longer engage in reserve spending. We noted we must instead take direct and rapid steps, I noted, to vanquish this $1.3 million deficit. To begin the process of expunging this deficit, we took 5 immediate steps, and you all got that memo. With a few exceptions, we were not able to build faculty or staff raises into the FY18 budget. We asked all budget unit heads to give back 10% of general operating funds from all campus budgets. We put an immediate hiring chill into effect. And with few exceptions, we froze most general fund travel for our employees. And lastly, all general fund expenses related to hospitality spending were frozen. And I want to stress, general fund. This was a good start, but not sufficient. Therefore, in addition to these first 5 steps, over the summer and now into the early fall, campus budget leaders, vice chancellors, deans, budget unit heads, coordinators, and directors all have been looking at efficiencies we can introduce to the budget to reach our goal. As expected, we have done a magnificent job, you have done a magnificent job, in carving more from your areas of responsibility. Academic affairs looked at scheduling efficiencies, class size changes, reducing multiple section scheduling, credit production to faculty ratios, and the employment of adjunct faculty. Student affairs looked at spending levels and productivity in all their areas. Administrative affairs looked at operating efficiencies and continued to identify high priority facility projects that would reduce energy consumption and utility expenditures. Our technology personnel cut their budgets even more and also gave back to the campus in several meaningful ways. In both advancement and in marketing and communications, other efficiencies were developed and implemented, which has made this an even more productive unit. In total, we have identified approximately $1.7 million in efficiencies that will help us eliminate the $1.3 million deficit and hopefully provide salary increases on July 1st, 2018, subject, of course, to enrollment trends and university salary policies. But it is our plan. God willing and the creek don't rise, it is our plan to make sure that we have raises on this campus. The efficiencies that have been identified in the budget realignment plan include personnel reductions related to temporary positions, retirements, resignations, and reorganizations. We plan to reduce and continue to reduce non-critical travel, hospitality, sponsorships, and membership expenditures. Programs and initiatives that continue to rely on seed and startup funding for many years may and probably will see reductions in their budgets. The balance of the efficiencies will come from high impact, low pain initiatives that, quite frankly, are smart fiscal decisions to make better use of our resources. I repeat the word efficiencies a great deal here because it is important. When people hear the words budget cuts, what they fear most is that their jobs may disappear. We all understand that. Instead, what we have found out in this iteration of budget cuts is that we are able to cut a great deal more by becoming more efficient in how we function, rather than frankly just cutting positions. By sharpening the fiscal pencil, instead of looking at budget lines, by sharpening the fiscal pencil, by looking at budget lines, not people, which could be reduced or eliminated, and by looking at areas in the budget that have been heedlessly reauthorized for years instead of having been examined as to their effectiveness, you, have made us more efficient. However, a very few positions will not endure. You already know that the hiring chill is in effect, and it will remain in effect for some time. We will not be refilling very many positions in this forthcoming year. Instead, we feel it is prudent to wait a year to see what the enrollment direction looks like for next year. With this focus on efficiencies, we have seen a corresponding decrease in the number of adjunct instructors we have hired for this academic year, and I expect that number to decline in subsequent semesters. Due to various reasons, there is always a need for visiting faculty, and our visitors do contribute greatly to the academic mission of the campus. However, due to several enrollment shifts across different academic programs, we will be reducing our visiting lines by 20%. We will watch this category carefully to see again how our enrollment progresses in the future semesters. We will not be refilling very many staff lines. And again, as part of the efficiencies we are implementing, some staff will be moved to other units to balance the workload. We will be allowing a limited number of staff members to move to reduce their full-time schedule from 40 hours to 30 hours per week. Obviously, we'll be talking to those faculty. We're not just going to pick people at random. So, we are in the process of overall belt tightening. We are obviously making cuts to our overall budget. We are all working diligently, however, to not impact student learning. Very few personnel will leave our campus. Instead, we will see a continued non-personnel budget tightening. Candidly, from my perspective, it's better to tighten budgets than to fire people. Simple as that. We are on schedule with our planned reduction in order that it be sent to the University Budget Committee by the end of October. By that time, those few full-time personnel who will not be rehired in 2018-19 in that budget will have been notified. Let me re-emphasize that with these cuts, we will trim almost $1.7 million off our current budget. And our current budget, our operating budget, runs about almost 56 million. So 1.7, not budget dust, but we're being careful. You will recall, and I'm repeating this, that a previous memo noted that we needed to cut back by 1.3. Why the difference? One of our key pledges that we made this summer to lots of you, to all of you, was that we were going to try to build these salary increases into next year's budget. This increase in cuts from 1.3 to 1.7 now is our way of hopefully funding a raise for next year. This year, the vast majority of our employees on our campus, including your deans, vice chancellors, and chancellor, did not see a raise. The vast majority of us didn't get raises. I know some of you out there said, oh, I bet Wavell got a raise, and I bet Wallace got a raise, and can't believe Dufresne got a raise, and the deans all got raises. Not one of us got raises. If you all weren't getting raises, we weren't taking raises. Simple as that. Our first goal for this year is to fund a raise. And if it takes more budget cuts this year to make a raise more of a distinct possibility, then so be it. Throughout this year, we will also implement. So I want you to understand this. When I say enrollments are down and this and this and this, that's a static statement. We are obviously taking actions to turn this around. So throughout this year, we will also implement a new website for working adults, outlining nearly 20 degree programs that students can complete either entirely online or through a combination of online and evening course offerings. The fact that the faculty and the senior administration work together with marketing and communication to develop a website that now shows 20 degree programs that these people working adults can complete is a huge deal. When I arrived here on campus, I was told that there were three degree programs that people could complete at night. We were smoking funny cigarettes because there's really only one that we could, with any degree of certainty, point to. So these past years, faculty have been working hard to get this policy and get these curricular efforts done. So this is a game changer. We would not be as secure as we are, and I know some of you are going, are we secure? We are secure. We would not be as secure as we are if it were not for all the increases in online education. Not only are we offering online courses to our students, but we have quite a number of students who come from other campuses to take our courses. Vitally important, so that's going well. We will implement an online view book as part of our enrollment management documents. Any of you with about to be college-going students know that they will be bombarded by view books, shiny, expensive to produce view books, which none of them will read. We know this, okay? And so we're getting out of that business. We do believe in sustainability, and we do believe that we can do an online version of our view book where students get to pick the areas that they want to see in the view book. It's a different way of doing things. We'll be one of the first schools in this Midwestern region to do this way. We will save some money by doing it this way, but also we will have more students actually reading what we have to offer. We will release a new website outlining all our graduate programs. Our graduate enrollment actually was up this year. We were higher this year than we expected. I want to remind you also that our undergraduate, our entering first-year students, they were up as well. We hit our target there. So that's vitally important. We hit our target there. We improved our target in graduate, but not enough. We will convene a meeting of many of the region's major employers to showcase our new undergraduate and graduate degrees, to showcase our certificates. Certificates saw the biggest increase of any academic programs. Certificates. It's a new world in terms of that. To showcase these undergraduate, graduate degrees, certificates, to showcase our sales lab, our internships, and our online offerings. And if possible, and we're going to have to look very carefully at the budget, we will try to hire a new recruiter solely charged with increasing graduate student enrollments. I want to remind you, 2019, 2020, demographically, the number of traditional aged high school graduates, the traditional 18-year-old, declines quite a bit. We need, by that time or before, to have developed strategies to bring back more working adults. That's helped greatly now that we have more online areas, but also to increase our graduate enrollments. We're doing okay, but okay is not good enough. Living in, frankly, the greater Louisville area, we need to be getting more graduate students here. And so you will see a lot of activity in developing programs, and I know we've got new programs coming through in psychology, in management, in education, in history, in English. We've got some good programs coming to the fore, so that will help a great deal. So let me end the State of the Campus address by noting that we are in solid fiscal shape. Don't leave this room today and fire up the computer printer and send out your resumes to places. Don't do that. I think we've taken all your printers away, so you can't do that. So, good planning, Wavell. Good planning. We are in good, solid fiscal shape. We do have more than satisfactory reserves to cover any major eventuality which might befall us. We are not in financial distress by any means. We're just not going to dip into reserves anymore the way we have been doing. We will emerge from this belt tightening through these efficiencies. We will emerge stronger and more nimble to respond to this new paradigm for higher education. We are going to have to change in many ways who we're going after, because that change is upon us. In terms of enrollment targets, we actually did reach our targets for new students enrolling this academic year. However, while we are doing a good job retaining students in most semesters, overall, our first year to second year retention is not going as well as anyone here would like. We frankly lose too many students at this stage in their education. Now, it's not so unusual in the national scene for regional universities to lose students from that first year to the second year, but we must redouble our efforts to overcome much of this decline. Many students who leave us are in fact good students with good GPAs. Mostly, they are not going on to institutions, other institutions. We know that because they're not asking for transcripts. But instead, they are deciding to enter full-time employment. We must, as a campus, not just one or two of us, but all of us, we must redouble our efforts to persuade these students not to drop out of university. As teachers and scholars in all the disciplines we offer, as professional student services staff working in numerous supportive and vitally important offices on campus, and as employees across this campus, we must all engage our students more directly. We must all engage our students more directly. We must persuade them of the importance of a completed university degree. We must help them apply their research projects to their prospective future careers. We must help them garner internships which lead to productive, fulfilling careers. We must demonstrate the importance of the liberal arts in their rapidly developing lives. We must demonstrate the importance of the liberal arts in their rapidly developing lives. We, all of us, must help them not to make bad decisions too early in their university careers. This idea that students are responsible for their own education is fine when you have 8,000 and 9,000 students. And we say to ourselves, oh no, they're adults. No, you all know this, whether you're teaching or not. These people are capable of inflicting incredibly stupid decisions on themselves. So we have to reach out, all of us. I'm not just talking about faculty. We have to make sure that they understand that they're valued here and that getting a degree as close to on time is vitally important, not just to themselves, but to their families. I want you to think carefully about that. As a state institution, we want to see more students come to us who are college ready and not necessarily come through a high school system that makes them work ready. We want them to be college ready. Now, please understand this. I know this. I've taught for years. There are some people who college and university, it's not for them. They go a semester and they go, oh, dear Lord, I don't know why I came here. They don't say dear Lord. Generally, they say something else. I get that. But we're losing too many good students from that first year to that second year, and we've got to do more. However, we are doing well. We are recruiting good students, and we are graduating great citizens. We are raising more scholarship dollars. We're performing well in the artistic and athletic fields, and we are attracting more community members to our campus for talks and presentations. Yes, we must do more to overcome this downturn in our budget and in retention. Our guiding principles as a regional university revolve around the ideas and ideals that excellence in engaged teaching is an expectation for all faculty, and that we, all employees, should strive to make our university an exemplar of the community-engaged campus. That's what we do at regional universities. We achieve both principles by engaging our students where they are and pushing them to be what we know they can be: informed, engaged members of society. We need to ask ourselves, how do we become more engaged in our students' collegiate experiences? And how do we show them we care about their success? I'm going to say that again. I'm sending this out to you all. We need to ask ourselves, how do we, everybody in this room, become more engaged in our students' collegiate experiences? And how do we show them that we care about their success? So, the new academic year is upon us. And I know we're going to do well, because we do well here. I want to thank each of you for coming out this morning, and I want to wish each of you a great new academic year here at the best IU regional campus, IU Southeast. We are facing some challenges. We have the resources to overcome them. Our number one resource is you all. Thank you all very much. Any questions? Comments? Uh-oh. Yes. Yes. I think your point is well taken. And I'll answer it this way. Yes, we need to do more in terms of we need to do more to have more multicultural experience here. We need to do more in terms of trying to help people from other cultures see the benefit of coming to IUS. We do need to look at some of our websites and some of our home pages to see if, in fact, we can put those into other languages. This is not rocket science. It's done all over the world. I totally agree with you. As an immigrant to this country, myself, I understand the power of a regional university in America to change lives. Not just people who were born here, but people who want to remain here and want to prosper here. So yes, I understand, and I hear you loud and clear. And frankly, my recruiting team understands this too. You will see more of that. Good question. Someone else. Don't be shy. Wow. Yes. 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 So I'll say two things to that. We have started to have those conversations. In terms of our enrollment demographics, two groups did increase in terms of enrollment percentages. Our Hispanic population did increase, and our African American population did increase. We are looking at the possibilities of different types of centers, but I'll be completely candid. We can't afford that right now. I understand that we can't afford not to do it, but we cannot afford to do it right now. So I'll give you a pledge that we will continue these discussions, and that when our budgets are at the point where we can do that, we will do that. Our issue will be, for this year, will be right the ship. Our issue for future years, even if enrollment goes up, and I shouldn't say it like that, when enrollment goes up, we are not going to be spending the way we have in the past. We are going to be much more deliberative. Yes, we all would like more colleagues. We all could do with help in all areas, but we are going to be very, very deliberative in how we hire and what programs that we introduce as new budget items. At this stage, if we introduce something, something else has to go. And that's not where I want to be this year. I want us to right the ship first. But good question, good comment. Anyone else? I'd like to thank you all for coming out today. If the people who did win awards would come this way, we would like to take some photographs. There's still plenty of coffee there, and there's pastries. None of it bought through general funds, I'll have you know. So please, thank you, Betty Russo and the foundation for all that help. You could do us all a big, big favor. This would help all of us. I know many of you reach out to students. Do some more of that. Ask them how it's going. Direct them to tutoring if they need tutoring. Direct them to help for whatever help. Push these students to register. We're now at registration time. Getting advised and register. Push these students to do this. We need to ensure that our spring semester is strong. We don't want people missing out the opportunity to see an advisor, to see a faculty member, to see anyone on this campus who can tell them a little bit more about why it's important. Don't assume that somebody else is going to do this. Reach out to these students. These are your students. These are our students. So please reach out to them. As I say, I am so proud to be your chancellor here. We have a good, strong institution. We are the strongest institution in terms of the regionals, and we've got a good national reputation. Many of you are doing a very good work in terms of grants, which of course help us in economic downturns. And anything that you can do to work with the grants office would be vitally important for us too. As I say, honored to be the leader of this fine institution, honored to call you all colleagues. Thank you.